Hello my dear viewers, in this video we are giving some explanations about which god or matters were present before the formation of the universe, which is called as Brahmanda, and who is the responsible for the formation of the universe. Let us start. Dear viewers, some scientists believed and proposed that there may be some matter and antimatters in equal proportions were present before the formation of the universe. They also believed that there is a cold, dark, empty space is the starting point of the Big Bang phenomenon. According to the Hindu text like Brahmanda Purana, Part 1, Chapter 3, verses 5 to 38 explains briefly which god or matter is the present before the formation of the universe. Yasmat kalpayate kalpaha samagram suche suchihi tasmai hiranyagarbhaya purushayeshwaraya cha. According to this verse, the Hiranyagarbha is the greatest Purusha who is unborn, eternal, excellent first creator of the matter of the universe. From this Hiranyagarbha, Kalpa was also started. Pradhanam prakritim chaiva yamahustatva chintakaha gandharupair sairhinam shabdasparsha vivarjitam. The above verse explains the characteristics of the Hiranyagarbha, the greatest Purusha, who does not have odor, color, taste, sound and touchable sense. According to these verses, Hiranyagarbha is the main source of the formation of the universe, which is eternal and has three gunas, which are Satvika guna, Rajasa guna, Tamasa guna. This great Purusha and his three gunas were present in a dark world or in a Andhakara. In this dark world or Andhakara, all three gunas are in unmixed state or in an equilibrium state. Then the formation of the universe not starts. This state of gunas is known as Pradhana. But when these three gunas are become mixed or in a non-equilibrium state, then origin of the universe starts. This state of gunas is known as Prakriti. Finally, when these three gunas are mixed in a manifested state or a describable state, that is known as Mahatattva. This means everything in this universe is composed with all the three gunas but represent only one guna. For example, Sri Brahmadeva represents Rajas guna, Sri Mahavishnu represents Satvika guna, and Sri Parameshwara represents Tamasa guna. Let us understand simply about all three gunas. First one, Satvika guna. The root word is Sat, means existence. It is described as a purity, knowledge, harmony, goodness, joy, positivity, creativity, nobility, and free from fear, etc. By meditation, bhakti, and by eating the sattvic foods leads to the increasing Satvika guna. Second one, Rajasa guna. The root word is Raj or Ranj, which means colorful or excited, etc. It is described as a passion, action, energy, violence, lust, false vision, irritability, restlessness, bravery, etc. Some spicy foods vegetables such as onion, pulses, dals, etc. increases this guna. Third one is tamasika guna. The root word is tamasa, means darkness, dissatisfied, etc. It is described as a impurity, laziness, inertia, ignorance, uncertainty, humiliation, negativity, etc. Refined foods, frozen or long durational foods, meat, etc. increases tamasika guna. आदिकर्ता स भूतानां ब्रह्माग्रे समवर्तिनां हिरण्यगर्भः सौण्डेर्ष्मि प्रादुर्भूतश्चतुर्मुखः. According to this verse, Hiranyagarbha is the very first and primordial creator of the universe and starting point of the formation of the universe with the four phases. सृजते ग्रसते चैव पाल्यते च त्रिभिः स्वयं सोंग्रे हिरण्यगर्भः स प्रादुर्भूतः स्वयं प्रभुः. According to this verse, there is an existence of a supreme God before the formation of the universe. He is the creator of the all three gunas. That supreme God himself also exists as a Hiranyagarbha, the greatest Purusha, which is the starting point of the universe. So, all these three gunas were present with the Hiranyagarbha. आद्यो हि स्वयशश्चैव अजातत्वदजः स्मृतः तस्मद्हिरण्यगर्भश्च पुराणेषु निरुच्यते. Which means the Supreme God is the first or foremost existing God and unborn, who is also eternal and who himself became Hiranyagarbha for the formation of this universe, which is the starting point of the formation of the universe. So, who is that Supreme God? Supreme God